Namaste. I bow to you. Thank you for joining this yoga practice. It is Friday, April 30th. As you settle in and find a comfortable seat, I'm going to share a reading from the Yoga Resources Manual. This is in reference to Ardha Chandrasana, half moon, which we will explore today. Just as the moon lifts ocean tides, practice can uplift our mental and emotional state. You may have noticed. It is said that the physical poses of Hatha Yoga move prana, the subtle energy force. So the physical yoga postures move prana from the Ida and Pingala nadis, which are subtle energy channels responsible for ignorant desire and ignorant dislike, into what is called the Sushumna nadi. That's the central energy channel. And when this Hatha happens, movement happens, palpable sense of well-being occurs, which any practitioner of Hatha Yoga is likely familiar with. It's also said that the physical practice of Hatha Yoga prepares one for meditation. Another perspective is that Hatha Yoga creates an interest in meditation because the practitioner wants more of what Hatha Yoga offers that feels so good. So just as the moon lifts ocean tides, practice can uplift our mental and emotional state. From your comfortable seat, roll your shoulders up, back, and down, leaving your chest lifted, heart expanded. Hands together, prayer mudra. And we'll begin by chanting Om, Bija, seed mantra. This is a primordial vibration. I say the sound of the universe. Inhale deeply for one long Om. On an inhale, sweep your arms out wide, reaching up overhead. Exhale, arc your hands all the way back down. You can imagine like you're painting a golden glow around yourself. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, float the arms down. On your next inhale, you can imagine you're scooping up earth energy. As you exhale this time, rain the energy down the center channel, all the way down. Inhale again, scooping up, collecting from the sky. Exhale, sprinkle all of that prana down. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Bring your hands up to the sky like a big Y. Exhale, bend your elbows similar to yesterday, making this kind of W shape. Heart stays lifted, shoulder blades drawing together and down. Maybe you even back bend a little here, lifting the heart, opening the throat, breathe. On an inhale, the arms reach back up, Y. Exhale, hands down to your thighs. You can bring your hands back behind you as we shift our legs into figure four. So crossing your right ankle over your left thigh. Do whatever you need to do with your arms to accommodate this posture. And as you settle in, you might sway your legs side to side, working into deep hip flexors. Noticing what you can feel as you breathe here. So you might feel sensation somewhere beyond the hips. Notice how you're sending weight into your hands, part of your foundation here. Maybe we can send a little more energy into our fingertips, lightening the load on our wrists. One more big cycle of breath. And then release your right foot to the earth. You might windshield wipe your legs left and right a time or two. And then cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Sitting tall, drawing the shoulder blades together and down. core engaged, supporting our spine, and you may begin to sway your legs side to side. Breathing and noticing. So much of our yoga asana practice is the practice of staying present. And we can do that by noticing just as much as we can of every subtle moment. A couple more breaths here, maybe settling in for some stillness. Plant your left foot. Hands are behind you, preparing for reverse tabletop. So our feet are hips distance apart. Maybe you even want to squeeze a block between the thighs to make sure that the knees don't splay out. On an inhale, press your feet into the earth while you lift your hips. Adjust your hands or feet as you need to. Core engaged. Feet pressing down, pressing the hips up, but trying not to squeeze the glutes too intensely. And your choice here, you can lower your hips, pause for a breath or two anytime throughout, or you can aim for stillness for the next 3 slow breaths. Rotate your hands as you need to. Always remembering you're in control of your practice. It should never hurt. And as you exhale, lower your hips down, bring your forearms to your knees. Just sit in a relaxed way for a moment, maybe closing your eyes, noticing sensations in the body. You might feel a real rush of energy through the arms and chest. You might tuck your chin to your chest, giving the back of your neck a stretch. See if you can relax your shoulders as you breathe here. With or without the block between your thighs, bring your hands back behind you. You might even come to soft knuckles if you're like me and your wrists do not love this. On an inhale, lift your hips. Maybe you stay here in reverse tabletop. Maybe you straighten your legs out for inclined plane. Wherever you go, keep your chest really open, heart lifted, hips lifting, pressing the feet into the mat. Pressing your hands into the mat. Inhale, and as you exhale, set your hips down. Sit for a moment in Dandasana, staff pose, legs together, toes spread wide energetically, hands alongside your hips, shoulder blades together and down, ears over shoulders, so you might need to lean back in space slightly, draw your chin back. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. You can allow a bend to come into your knees at any time. Working towards a lengthened spine at the beginning, but as you exhale, maybe you choose to round your spine, letting your head hang heavy. Maybe you rest your arms on blocks. Again, don't force your legs straight. If you do want to keep your legs straight, then maybe you lift up out of the fold a bit. Remembering our body is like a pulley system, really just like everything in life. You got to give a little to get a little. So finding the balance in a way that opens the body without force. On an inhale, walk your hands back towards your body. Make your way into tabletop. Bring the big toes together, knees out wide. Send your hips back into extended child's pose. Keep your arms active if you can here. So hands pressing into the mat. The arms are lifted off of the mat. Shoulders away from the ears so our neck has space. Gentle engagement of your abdominal muscles. See if you can guide your hips a little lower, closer to your heels. On an inhale, rise up. Feet come off the mat towards the hips. Drop your hips down, hanging cobra. Draw the heart forward. Rotate your upper arms so those elbow bends point back towards your thighs. Another inhale here. And exhale, tabletop. Knees hip distance apart. Move through cow and cat in a way that feels good to you, keeping in mind the external rotation of the arms, so elbows point back towards our thighs. Anytime that we wrap our arms like that, we probably want to check back in that our index finger and thumb side of the hands are connected to the mat. And maybe you close your eyes as you breathe through cow and cat. Maybe you incorporate Ujjayi Pranayam, the ocean sounding breath, constricting the back of the throat as we inhale and exhale. Sometimes using an audible breath can really help us focus our mind on the breath. Tuck your toes, and on your next exhale, send the hips high. Keep the elbows pointing back towards the thighs. You might widen your arms and your hands. 3 to 5 breaths in downward facing dog. So do anything that feels good to you here. Keep in mind that this posture is about lengthening the spine, so a bend in the knees is welcome. Abdominal muscles gently engaged, head hanging heavy, jaw relaxed. On an inhale, look forward, and as you exhale, make your way to the top of the mat. Inhale to lift halfway, long spine. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, root down to rise all the way up, arms out and up. Exhale your hands to heart center. Inhale, arms out and up. Core stays engaged. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, root down to rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, fold all the way down, hands touch down. Right foot slowly steps back in space. Pause for a moment here. Right leg extended long. And then exhale, lower your right knee to the mat. You might want to put a blanket or fold your mat over here. On an inhale, arms and torso reach up, making sure your left ankle is under your left knee. You're welcome to stay here, stretching the front of the right hip flexor. Or maybe I like to bring my hands to the blocks as I bend my right knee, getting into a deeper hamstring stretch. And maybe you're able to do that keeping your arms lifted. Go for it. Feels a little kinder to the knee for me to lean forward with it. Okay, an option here as well to reach your right arm back and catch the right ankle. Of course, when our hand makes contact with the ankle, we can kick the foot back while lifting the heart. Maybe float that left arm out a bit, counterbalancing as we breathe. Maybe you even float your left hand back, holding the right ankle with both hands, lifting the heart. And if you're not here, no worries. Breathe with wherever you are. 3 more breaths. Wherever you are, can you lengthen your torso? Lifting the front body while anchoring the side body and the back body. Gently release your right foot to the ground, hands coming back to blocks. On an inhale, lift your right knee off the mat, lift the arms up overhead, Anjaneyasana, crescent lunge. Set the blocks at the top of the mat if you like to use them for downward facing dog, or rather frame your left foot. Inhale to reach. Exhale, hands to block or mat. Step yourself back to plank for just a moment. We inhale here, pushing the ground away. Exhale here. Inhale. And little bend in the knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, come back forward into plank. Come onto the right pinky side edge of your right foot. Left foot steps in front, side plank pose. Lift your left hand to the sky. Make sure your hips are lifting. Now, if it's in your practice, if you like to explore side plank, I just about tipped all the way into the plants. Another breath or two to explore, making sure that you're keeping your hips lifted, heart open, and releasing side plank, returning to downward facing dog. Let's all drop our knees, find child's pose for a breath or two. After a regulating cycle of breath, tuck your toes, return to downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward, and exhale, step your right foot to the top of the mat, right ankle landing under the right knee. Inhale here. Exhale, drop your left knee, lift the torso, and you're welcome to stay here, or maybe you begin exploring bending the left leg, left heel towards left hip. You can always stack the blocks taller, use them here. Maybe your left hand finds the left ankle. Maybe the right hand joins that party. Several slow breaths here. Maybe using that Ujjayi breath to calm the mind, steady the focus. As you breathe, is there anywhere you're scrunching up or holding tension that you could let go of? Can you lift your heart and your torso up out of your hips a little more? Another slow and steady breath. Gently release your left foot back to the mat. Lift the left knee off of the mat as we inhale. Lift the arms and torso, crescent lunge. Another inhale for great length. Exhale your hands down to blocks or mat. Excuse me, kitty. Step yourself back into plank pose, preparing for plank, side plank on the left side. So come on to the left edge, pinky edge of the mat. I like to step my right foot in front, giving me a little support, helping to lift that bottom hip, and then float the right fingertips up to the sky. Maybe you explore stacking the right foot on top of the left. Keep hugging the hips up to the sky. One more inhale, really extend through the right fingertips. And exhale, return to plank pose, inhaling there. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward and walk your feet to the top of the mat. Hang heavy for a moment in Uttanasana. Maybe you make a wider stance than usual. Breathe deeply. On an inhale, root down to rise all the way up, arms out and up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Come to the wide edge of your mat. Set your blocks up at the back corners, out wide, going towards half moon. Uh-oh, Toby. Take a wide stance, feet parallel to begin with. Hands on hips, shoulders roll back and down, heart lifted. Inhale here, core engaged. Exhale, tip forward. Long spine, maybe you let your arms dangle and you can make some figure eights with them, relaxing the shoulders. Keep pressing into the soles of the feet and the pinky side edges of the feet. Kneecaps lift, our quads are engaged here. Let yourself hang heavy if you'd like for a breath. And on an inhale, rise back up, long spine. Pivot your right toes, I won't be mirroring, right toes towards the top of the mat, heel to arch alignment. Find warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. Fingertips reaching away from each other. Big expansion through the heart space. Gaze over your right fingertips. If you know that balance and half moon are not for you, you're welcome to stay here. You can also move to a wall or just approach it with a playful attitude, seeing what happens. So from warrior two, bring your left hand to your hip. Right hand comes down to the block behind and in front of your right foot. Step your left foot in about halfway. Step that right hand forward another foot or so. Inhale, and as you exhale, step into your right leg, left leg floating up, but left leg is super active, just like it's standing in Tadasana mountain pose. See if you can stack your left shoulder over your right shoulder, looking down for a little more stability. Maybe you look up towards the sky as your left hand lifts to the sky. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. 3 to 5 more breaths to explore here. It's fine if you fall out of it and you have to re-enter. Breathe deeply, maybe revisit Ujjayi Pranayam. Just as the moon lifts ocean tides, practice can uplift our mental and emotional state. Our half moon pose. One more inhale. And as you exhale, bend into the right knee slowly. Point the left toes, find the ground. Return to Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale here. And exhale, hands to hips. Pivot on the right foot so your feet are parallel. Stand tall for a moment. Breathing here. Maybe you even open your arms up. Power stance. I think the science is still unresolved on this, but I know I feel good when I do it. And lower your hands back to your hips as you pivot onto your left heel. Left toes point towards the back edge of your mat. Heel to arch alignment in the feet. Find yourself into Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. Gazing over your left middle finger. Breathing here. Drop any preconceptions of how this is going to go. Keeping an open mind, open heart. We start exploring into Ardha Chandrasana. Right hand on right hip. Left hand reaches for the block. Step your right foot in about halfway. The left hand comes out another foot or so, and then start to stand into your left leg. The right leg floats up, toes pointing, toes and knee both pointing towards the long edge of your mat. We're not gripping the mat with our left toes. The left hand is right under the left shoulder. The right hand starts to reach up towards the sky, really opening through the heart. Breathe deeply. A few more breaths here. Maybe you can incorporate Ujjayi Pranayam. As you breathe here, you can imagine like you're leaning up against a wall. So still anchoring the tailbone down towards the extended heel. Still lifting your front hip flexors towards the heart. One more breath to explore. And then slowly, little bend in the left knee, point the right foot. You can bring your right hand back to your hip as you settle yourself into Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale deeply and exhale. Hands to hips, parallel the feet. And bring the heels in, toes out. Inhale your arms up to the sky. Exhale, sit down into goddess pose. Knees and toes are pointing the same direction. Tailbone anchored down, thighs really opening up away from each other. Long torso. Goalpost those arms, shoulder blades together and down, heart lifted. We breathe here. Inhale, stand up out of it. Exhale, sit back down. Inhale and reach. Exhale, return to goddess. Breathe here. And then hands to hips, straighten the legs, toes forward. Come to the top of the mat. Inhale your arms out and up. Exhale, hinge forward, forward fold. Go ahead and bend your knees really generously, dropping your hips all the way to the mat. Make your way all the way down onto your spine. Right leg crosses over left. Send the hips over to the right just a little bit. Arms out wide like a T. Inhale here and exhale, let the legs fall off to the left side. Maybe reach your right arm up overhead. Stretch in a way that feels good. Lengthening your side body, dropping that top hip away from your heart. Inhale through center, uncrossing your legs. Left leg crosses over right, scoot the hips to the left a little. Inhaling again, and as you exhale, the legs fall off to the right side. Maybe the left arm floats up overhead. Breathe deeply. And release the posture. Hug knees into your chest, Uttanasana. And with an exhale, send your legs and arms out long, finding Shavasana, corpse pose. As you drop in, be with every breath as if it were the only thing that mattered. Stay with your breath. Evolution is the fruit of a sincere and dedicated practice. Evolution is the fruit of a sincere and dedicated practice. As you're ready, make your way back to a comfortable seated posture. Hands together in heart center. inhale deeply, we'll chant one long Om to close our practice. Thank you for sharing your dedication to yoga with me. Namaste. All right, it's the end of another month. Oh my goodness. So if you'd like to sign up for another month, we will continue into May. Also, please don't forget about the Buddy Pass. You can save some money that way if you share it with a friend. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope to see you all again soon.